So you were on air and you said that he's like, he's a demagogue, he's dangerous, he's going to be around for 50 years, long after Donald Trump's gone. For the first time in the campaign, we get a death threat of a man who wants to show up in New Hampshire. Thankfully, the police intervened, got it. The next day, back-to-back days, so my wife's scared enough. The next day, we wake up, it's 3 a.m., we get a call from him. He's my security guard saying, thank God you picked up, because we just got a call that somebody showed up at their house and has 4 dead bodies out. So that's within 48 hours, and I'm not going to attribute that to your comment because whatever it is. But for our family, you know what? Publicly I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually. And so the reality is, I don't try to engage in rhetoric that gets other people in danger of bodily harm, but I do think that if somebody's going to, even if you didn't intend to provoke that kind of ire on my family, yeah, in that week it landed with me. Now, at the same time, am I going to...
Test.
Do I want to set a good example for people in this country of what discourse looks like? I do. And in the heat of a presidential campaign, and I've been open about it since I left the campaign as well, my competitive spirits, sometimes stop us from being able to have the level of discourse we want. And I think you were wrongfully pushed out of the White House for your comments around 9/11, way back when as well. They were misconstrued, exactly. So what I will tell you is this. Yep. So I just wanted you to know that backdrop. That's my personal song. Don't give it to anybody else.
I will call you in a couple of days and apologize to you.
Okay, well, we don't need to do any of this on air.
But I'll call you right back.
And you know what we can do is we can turn the page and maybe have a chapter to demonstrate what actual good discourse looks like in this country. And that's not just on you, that's on me as well. Okay, that's on two of us.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Hey, it's classy of you to say so, and I hope we can build a friendship. I really mean that. Please do. Okay.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that that's absolutely amazing. The fact that Vivek Ramaswamy made Van Jones bend the knee. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, he ran up on him like a real one. And when I say run up on him, I'm not talking about in the same way that a lot of y'all like to think about what running up on somebody looks like as far as in the streets and threatening them. But he was willing to look him dead in the eye. And so the context, well, okay, so let me back up for a minute because I want to make sure that we all understand exactly what's going on here. So Van Jones made a comment about Vivek Ramaswamy way back then and basically said that he was like a demagogue that's going to be around for 50 years after Trump is long gone. And so he basically painted him out to be this monster or whatever that is largely unwarranted because Vivek Ramaswamy, for all intents and purposes, has never been done anything or said anything negative about anybody. Like, he's just 100% intelligent. Like, he's a really intelligent, articulate person that knows how to convey his thoughts in a way that'll make you look small if you're not intelligent enough to debate him, right? I do think that there's some street sense, right? Because he was out and he was talking to people at the Democratic National Convention, communists and people that were protesters that ultimately tried to run him up off of there. And so he just walked away or whatever, but he tried to even have a conversation with those people, and they weren't the type of people that you can have a conversation with because you can't negotiate with crazy people, right? But in a general sense, I think that he largely means well because his mindset about how you're supposed to operate and to be intelligent, I think that one day he probably truly will be, and it probably will be a blessing to the United States of America, especially with his business mind. I think that one day he very well could possibly be a president of the United States of America. He's only like 38 years old. He's not even 40 yet. He carries himself like a 50-year-old. And he's been able to be successful from a business perspective, and he has no problem with engaging or being transparent about who he is. Now, with that being said, Van Jones saying that wild stuff about him, which in my opinion was largely unwarranted. And then conversely, Vivek, when he was on stage, he wound up saying F Van Jones or whatever like that. And he said that he did it purposely in this video to Van Jones, to his face, because ultimately there were threats on his family, and his security guard is the ones that wound up having to thwart what was going on as far as whatever. And so he didn't put that on Van Jones, but he was basically saying that, listen, that pissed me off. And the fact that you're not even willing to engage, because before this video or before he wound up catching hold of him, Van Jones tried to blow him off and walk away. but he basically schooled him. And while Van Jones was listening, he realized that the cameras was there. And so he tried to whisper his apology and tried to say to him, "Oh man, I apologize. Let's connect or whatever." And Vivek Ramaswamy was, very, very accepting, and he wanted to connect. But I think that it's victory by intelligence, it's victory by defeat. And we don't, in our culture, have enough intelligence a lot of times to be able to debate a point or learn how to think our way through it. Because honestly, you can embarrass somebody with your words. And it don't have to be on some threats or anything like that, or I'm gonna run up on you. It could very well be because you just too intelligent for them to be able to accept it. And so when you see them, you embarrass them, and then it makes them bend the knee, similar to what he just did to Van Jones right there. And so Van Jones tried to whisper it. Nah, keep the same energy that you had when you was online talking crazy stuff and say it to my face. Say it to my face. Like, just say it directly and be transparent about how you feel about me, even though you know that this thing put my family in danger. And so again, Vivek, however you want to pronounce it, Vivek Ramaswamy, he was basically saying, listen, man, I don't bother nobody. I don't largely get into no situation where I'm trying to put somebody's life at danger. And I do like having conversations and debates because I'm very well suited to be able to have that. And I think that, discourse, regardless of whether or not we agree with each other, is very much okay. It's very much warranted. And I respect that. I respect the hell out of this guy because, I think that he's a breath of fresh air, especially with the Republican Party. I think that he has some changes that he needs to make in order to make himself a little bit more situationally aware. But in general, he would be a great cabinet member. I even wouldn't have minded seeing him as a VP, but I know that they had to pick somebody from the Midwest because, more or less they wanted to rock out with swing states. And I also know that people care more about marketing than they do about actual policy. And so his intelligence is great for managing and being in the White House itself, but it may not necessarily translate to the people yet until they become more familiar with him. But the fact that he was able to make Van Jones basically bend the knee to his will because Van Jones was out of pocket, according to him, I think that all is fair. In a sense, if you want to say somebody is monster or mean or whatever, cool, but you can't, because I think that a lot of it is just content, but you can't control how other people take it and you can't control how other people react to it. And so making him apologize just because he was more intelligent than him, and Van Jones is always crying and whining and all of this other type of stuff. So for him to be given that type of energy, and then Vivek also identified the fact that he felt like he was, done dirty as a result of some of the comments that he said, Van Jones said, and then he was held accountable for online, right? So it was an intelligent response. I like it. I think that it was awesome. It was a phenomenal smackdown. These are the type of smackdowns that I want to see. I actually want to see people engage and get intelligent conversations, and so I love it. I appreciate uh, the fact that he was able to convey that. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I think that y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, teach Hanley 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Make sure y'all get that. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. We appreciate Teach for continuing to sponsor what we got going on over here. And y'all tell me what y'all think about it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all on After Hours tonight. Peace.